right, guys, welcome to another episode of the awesome white guy with the two not so awesome black guys, or as we call it,
Canceled already.
Already canceled. Let's start again.
This is awesome. This is awesome. We're so giving out. Or you're not my type, bro.
Yeah, you're not my type, bro.
You're definitely not my type.
Lies.
Actually, that's a lie. If I were gay, you both would be my types. Yeah.
No, wait, we need to restart that.
No, we're definitely not.
That's fine.
This
We're
is
good.
awesome. This is man, I love this show. And welcome back to episode 618. We're gonna go right into it because, first and foremost, cocktails and complaints. What we have to do is first make our awesome toast here, guys.
Cheers.
Happy whatever day of the week it is.
Yes.
Glad to be back.
Mm.
And what we're gonna do. Cocktails and complaints. And I guess I'm going to start since I'm somewhat, hosting the show today. You know what? I got to, and you're both in the entertainment industry, obviously. We've both been in it. And can we just start with something that is the biggest effing joke? Where's my beep? The biggest fucking joke that I've ever seen. And that's the intimacy coordinator on a set. You gotta be fucking kidding me with this thing, dude. I don't even know where to start. I can do a whole episode on this. But first and foremost, you're an adult, and out of nowhere now, after 100 years of doing movies, you need an intimacy coordinator because we're so freaking now all of a sudden become so dumb and incompetent and pathetic that we can't handle it as adults, figure out our scene. But we don't need a coordinator for like a race scene or a fight scene or a emotional drama scene. No, for intimacy.
Usually a fight coordinator.
Well, a stunt coordinator, fair enough. What I'm saying is the intimacy coordinator. And by the way, what makes you an expert in intimacy?
I have a question.
Yeah.
This is cocktails and complaints.
Yeah.
Where's this going? Where did this come from?
Oh, because I was on set and we had one.
Today.
No, yesterday.
Oh, okay. What are you on set for?
Yeah, I was on set for this, like everything else now, you're shooting a vertical. Made by Chinese. It was, you're $200, show up, do your line, spend 12 hours, go home. And they had like this caressing scene, and they actually had two people there making sure everybody is comfortable. Okay. It wasn't even a real kiss, and it kind of was like they're kind of like wanting to kiss, but then dad walks in, kind of a thing, And long story short, typical kind of soap opera drama. He doesn't like the boy, inheritance, blah 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 blah, and they had to discuss to make sure everybody is comfortable with the way they touch themselves, that they're okay with it, that everybody is signing off on it, God forbid, because as an actor, you're not competent now to do an intimacy scene. I mean, and not only that, but again, back to my question, what qualifies you then as an intimacy expert? Well, and by the way, the intimacy coordinator.
You don't necessarily need to be like a licensed psychologist or anything to be.
Then what's the point?
A counselor, something to be a mediator. It's something that I think.
So you guys need an intimacy coordinator to do a kissing.
No, but obviously I don't. But obviously there's a need for it because there's been a lot of people that were put into very uncomfortable positions.
Oh yeah.
And not just because the two actors don't have an agreement. It's usually not the two actors. It's usually the director. So it's usually that medium between them or the producers. I think, what was it? Blue is the warmest color. They had some really intense lesbian scenes, and like those girls, they say they were like traumatized because they were like 24 hours long day shoots, and they had those girls doing crazy things, and they felt very uncomfortable, and I think that might have been like the catalyst for that.
So how's an intimacy coordinator solve that then? Just go to the director, producer, studio. What does the intimacy coordinator
do? Does the intimacy coach basically talk, because I don't know how this works, like do the intimacy coach just talks to the two actors and find out what each one of them is comfortable with doing?
Boundaries.
Speaking with the director and saying, so that he's aware, so that he or she is not like saying, give me this or give me that, when one of the actors is possibly uncomfortable in that situation. So is that person liaising between the director and the actors and producers and like things like that?
So from my experience, the two times I've seen it, it was literally somebody who literally you can tell has probably less experience in the love life than everybody on set.
But is it about that though?
Well, it kind of should be, so you can communicate.
Safe.
So they came and they were like, okay, so what's going to happen is just want to make sure you're comfortable with. He's going to touch your thing, and then you guys are going to kiss, and I'm like, dude, didn't you read the fucking script? You know this is going to happen when you book the role. Like, sorry, 6 months earlier. I don't. To me,
No, it's not that they didn't sign up for it. It's usually in their contract, especially if there's nudity involved. It's just what especially women, what some of them have been put through in the past is to protect them from it.
but that's nothing to do with intimacy coordinator. It has to do with an abusive director who probably took advantage and abused or
That's
did
the-
something they shouldn't do.
That's
Yeah.
the safety net.
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
you jealous? Did you want the job?
All
Is that what's going on?
moderation. Sometimes it goes too.
I need the gig, so I got to do it.
Is that why? Is that why you're complaining? Because it's not your job.
What were you trying to do? You didn't want the intimacy.
It wasn't even my scene. The thing that rubbed me the
got
wrong way
called
was I was standing there, and it was so like, dude, you're an actor. Like I don't see when you do like a racist scene, I don't see a race coordinator. When you do like like an argument scene, I don't see an arguing coordinator. And the only thing that if you're gonna do it legit, then have a real licensed person
That's
that
comparable.
I think it is.
Sex and intimacy
That's
versus
different,
like
yeah.
an argument.
Yeah, so you signed up for the gig knowing there's going to be a kissing scene, but now you need an intimacy coordinator in order to feel comfortable. To me, it's just another.
Well, I think it might have gone too far with like if it's just a kissing scene, like I don't think that an intimacy coordinator is required. But if there's like, monsters ball sex scene,
Yeah.
you might need a. You might
I don't
need
think they
some-
had one.
No, they didn't.
Was it at Halle Berry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, anyway, that's my complaint, and I just thought it was completely useless waste of money. But I think that everybody's so afraid to get sued, and California's the most litigated state, so they're probably like cave to the pressure. Hey, whatever. How about having a gun coordinator so that people don't get shot?
I think
Alec?
it's a product of the Me Too movement. That's what it is.
That's probably what
But
exactly
they
what it
had. Well, let's move on.
Yeah.
We're gonna beat the dead horse about intimacy codes. So I got up the other morning or the other day, a few days ago, and I was just like getting things together, and I saw a cockroach, and
Wait, you saw one where?
it was like in the bathroom
In your apartment?
in my apartment.
Oh, I would have moved out instantly.
Okay.
I would've moved on the
Let,
spot.
let me finish.
Oh,
Let me finish.
sorry. Oh.
So I'm like, okay. And then I asked Peyton, I was like, have you seen any cockroaches? He's like, yeah, I saw one the other day. And I was like, okay.
Wait, he didn't tell you?
I mean, if you see one, I mean, obviously,
It's an
most times,
insect. Like,
I guess, yeah.
if you see one, chances are there's like 2,500 hiding in the wall. You know what I'm saying? But like, if you see one, there's gonna be more than one, right? So he didn't tell me, but he was just like, whatever. And so then, last night I go to bed. Take a little Xanax to help me sleep, and I end up waking up in the middle of the night. And I get up, and I usually have the sleep munchies, so I'll get up and I'll come into the kitchen, and I'll like grab something and I'll eat it. And I came into the kitchen, and I saw 2 cockroaches.
Can you take a note on the Xanax? We got to get back to the Xanax to help me sleep. So we can come back after the cockroaches.
So I was like, So I
Wow.
messaged Ken, and he's like, yeah, I'll get somebody out here, blah blah blah. And so he tells me that he's gonna have somebody here, and they come in today, and they tell us that we have to be out of the apartment for like 2 hours. I'm like, well, where the hell am I gonna go? Like,
Wow.
I didn't remember that I couldn't stay here. I was just like thought, will I be like in the back room doing some work or something? It wouldn't be a bother. But I literally put a towel underneath the door and sit in the office and crack the window and have a face mask on because I was like, I don't have anywhere to go and I don't have the car. Peyton has a car, whatever. So as he comes back and I'm leaving, I run into Ken in the elevator, and he's like, hey, did any roaches come out after the spray out of your building and or out of your cracks and crevices or whatever of your apartment? And I was like, I haven't seen any anywhere. He's like, oh, that's great. And he's like, I just want to tell you that the guys that were just here, we're 03, they're 05, but below us, they moved out and for the longest time had roaches and didn't tell him so that he could take care of the issue. And so they had to call the pest guy to come in to spray. And he sprayed multiple times. Like he sprayed at least 3 or 4 times. And each time, like the first time, he's like hundreds of cockroaches came out and died. He's like the next time it was like half of that. And then the next time half of that again. His place was infested with cockroaches.
Ugh.
Okay.
I hate
And like I said, we're up and over, like around the corner.
that and
So
rats.
he's like, the roaches like made their way because this guy is not taking care of his thing. So my complaint is, it is about the roaches, but also at the same time, it's about like living in a large city. We live on top of each other, and like I'm a clean person, so I expect grown adults are somewhat clean. I don't know,
Ugh.
but when we live in these types of situations, we're living in apartment buildings, we live on top of each other. Like, be considerate of the people that live around you as far as like noise levels and like not reporting roaches to your landlord or if you see rats because they're gonna hop around to other apartments in the building and that's fucking disgusting.
What do you talk? We talked about people that don't even consider when you're standing in Starbucks. Remember when they're ordering and spending 20 minutes to order when they've been in line for 20 minutes? You think they're going to be considered with cockroaches? People are so inconsiderate nowadays, man. They're so. I've never seen people more inconsiderate.
I mean,
than
but
nowadays.
this is the place that you live. You live
Right,
here.
you would
Like you
think.
spend most of your
Correct.
time here
Thank you.
probably,
Yeah.
and you see this happening in your space, and you're just like, okay.
Don't you want them gone?
Yeah.
Don't you
That's
want them
disgusting.
gone? Don't you want them gone? Ugh.
Well, my thing is like, why wouldn't he just report it? I mean, he's not like he has to pay for it out of
No,
pocket.
that's exactly what my landlord said. He's
So
like,
I'm confused.
he's not the one responsible for it. We're responsible for it. I mean, he created the mess probably and brought them there.
I tell you,
It's a mess.
I can relate because there's 2 times in my life I felt bad for myself, you know, and I was in Boston when we lived in a basement apartment in college. We had rats,
Oof.
like we were catching them on the glue stick.
That's big in the Northeast, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's normal there.
Oh,
yeah,
rats?
Yeah, rats.
Oh yeah.
And the other time
York,
was
they're
when,
like-
yeah,
It's-
and I felt
So
so,
funny.
you know, and you can kind of, okay, you know, I'm 18, whatever, you know, whatever, but you know, and when I just moved to LA in 2001, it was kind of cockroaches too, and cockroaches and rats are the two things I cannot stand. I don't, nothing grosses me out, but when I see a cockroach, and it's beyond just the animal, it's also, oh my god, I'm in a cockroach situation, so I know it's my, like, it makes me feel bad for myself. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And the fact, what you're saying, the fact that this dude can actually make a phone call and doesn't do it is beyond me. You would think
Disgusting.
you don't want to live with cockroaches.
Yeah.
This is a nice building where you live. It's like, dude, make the phone. But I tell you, man, I see a cockroach, I start freaking out. Ugh.
They'll outlive us all. The
They were here
roaches.
before us, and they'll be here after.
Okay.
us.
So wait, are they gone now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah, of course.
You just saw what is it, 4?
In total, probably for like 4 or 5.
Oh, you killed the whole family? Good.
Uh,
Good.
give me some rent. I need some help.
So what happens? They spray it and then they come out and die?
Yeah, they like kind of like come out and die because it's happening at my old building too. They just come out and die.
You're right. You're
Yeah.
right. Because Samantha and I once showed a place, and they had the same thing. And when we walked in, they warned us that they had, I guess,
Yeah,
whatever
all
you
over the
called
floor.
it, and there was like 20 of them on the floor.
Yeah, yeah,
Upside down. They're upside down. I remember that. Yeah.
Yes.
We walked right out with the clients. We're like, oh, we're good.
Goodbye.
Dwayne. All right, time's up. So the next.
Well, he might not have one.
I'm in a good mood
Yeah.
today.
He might have had a great week.
Brother, if you had a great week, you're on the wrong show.
All right, my complaint of the week is I hate this misuse and overuse of the word woke by
Okay.
people who don't even know what it means. Really, it's cultural appropriation because it comes from Black culture and being awakened to like the revision of history or causing a divide in the populace to control those. That's woke.
Mhm.
But like associating it with anything that's liberal or anything that the conservatives don't like, it annoys me. Like,
Mhm.
why are you using a word and you don't know what it means? It just bothers me.
What
And then when they
happened?
say it, it's like it's kind of like when you're like your 66-year-old uncle just says something like, "That's dope." Why are you saying that? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And just in general, like this, I think that it's like this weaponized word on the right used by people that don't actually know what it means. And they
Mhm.
just use it as an insult for anything that they don't like.
Right.
It's kind of like back in the 90s when people when they didn't like something or something was stupid, they'd say that's gay.
They still say
Yeah,
that.
they still say that.
people,
I
you
don't
know.
really hear
still
that
say
that often.
that.
I mean, probably not where we're running around, but you know.
Remember, the F word was used by straight as common language joke. Oh, you're such a fag. Is it, you know what I mean? Like, as it was when I remember coming to America, everybody was using it as a normal conversation word.
Yeah.
You know, and then of course it became more derogatory as the years went by. When I showed up in Boston, and I was carrying furniture on the weekends, all the dudes were calling each other the F word, like in normal conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, you're such an F, you're such an F, you're such an F, and it was like completely normal. And I think that's what happened with woke. It just kind of started as, and then became a thing that nobody even knows what it
That
is.
it
And
even is. I'm like, do you
yeah,
know what you're saying right now?
yeah,
Right.
yeah. I have no idea what it ever meant.
Yeah.
I just know that it started eventually being politicized, and
I don't think they could describe what it actually means.
Yeah.
They just use it.
and how would you describe it if somebody asked you? What would you say? Like, okay, give me like
It means to
a
be
30-second version.
I would say it means to awaken to maybe injustices or see things from a higher level, instead of being so one track minded.
In regards to what topic?
Anything. It
Okay,
could be
period.
anything, yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Okie dokie. Let's get into issue number one that's really been on our mind that we discussed and wanted to talk about. And believe it or not, today we're actually going to have some people that have called in and left some messages on our burner phone as we
Really?
grow this show. We're actually going to. This is so exciting. I feel like we're getting really legit now that we have people wanting to
Yeah.
ask us questions. But before we get to our questions, topic number one: people that have black friends for the sake of having black friends. And I know you all know them. I know them.
What
And
the hell does that mean?
Okay, yes, absolutely. When you
I-
sent that out, first of all, I wrote down, I said, is this a thing?
It really is.
Like, is this a thing?
It really is.
Because I have not heard of this until now.
yeah, it really is. I
Okay.
have
Why not?
several
Somebody's
friends.
my friend just because I'm black.
Yeah,
Like,
And
fuck you.
And I'll start. I personally know a girl and a guy who constantly have to point out that they have black friends. I don't know if it's some kind of survivor guilt or insecurity or a status or showing that they're open minded or cool, but they're constantly like when I last time I hung with this girl, she was like, well, I have a lot of black friends, and I'm like thinking to myself, I didn't want to get into it because once you get into a conversation like that with a person, it's you wrestle with the pig, you both get muddy. But why do you have to point out they're black?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have friends, and if they're black, that who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? Like, the most patronizing thing is like you can have, I have Asian friends, but it never happens with Asian or with Indians or with some. It's always with black people, and like, I have a lot of black friends. I hang with my friends, they're black. I'm like, why do you have to point out they're black? And my guy friend is the same. He has black friends so that he can say he has black friends. I'm sure he likes them. Both of these people, I'm sure they like those people and they're really friends with them. But there's this thing that I notice that sometimes people they have black friends so they can say or make themselves look more legit.
Is that the equivalent of saying, if someone's saying like, oh, some of my best friends are, Asian or whatever. Like, say for example, if you're traveling somewhere, like you're going to Vietnam or something, and you're like,
I'll give you
some of
one
my
better.
some of my best friends are Vietnamese.
I'll give you
Like,
one
I
better,
don't
and you guys can relate. Do not tell me you have not heard 1,000 times in the last 5 years. Forget 5 weeks. My friend, it was gay, or I have gay friends. They always have to add when they have a friend that's gay that they're gay.
I haven't gotten that.
Yes.
Really?
No,
Yes.
I haven't gotten
You have.
that.
You
Yes,
gotta have.
sure.
You have to.
I haven't.
They always have to point out in a conversation, like, or you notice how when you talk about something gay, a gay issue, everybody has tons of gay friends.
But are you
notice that?
saying
Come on.
that they're friends with them because having gay friends legitimizes them, or are they just
Exactly.
describing their friend?
No,
It legitimizes them in what way?
I don't. Well, with the gay thing, I think it's actually bullshit. They don't, because every time I notice I find myself in a conversation that has to do with a gay issue, everybody around me all of a sudden has 60 gay friends. Oh, my best friend is gay. Oh, my best friend is gay. Oh, my 3 best friends are gay. Like, all of a sudden, everybody has gay friends. But with the black issue, it's like credibility. Or like they want to seem like they're to
What-
diffuse that if they ever
what-
disagree with something that they're not
What's the
racist.
credential?
To make you look legit, like, oh, you're so cool. My best friends
You're
aren't
cool.
white, they're black.
Like I said,
You never heard of that?
I've never heard this before, that people are choosing, like, I choose people that I want to be friends with based on if we click and if we have fun together. Like, I'm not gonna choose you just because you're a white guy. I'm not gonna choose you just because you're Latino, whatever. So maybe there are some people that come from different, situations where they've grown up, where maybe they are just comfortable being around black
I
people,
know, like
and so they
white
they
people
choose
that
to make
are
friends with black people, make those black
they're
people their primary
comfortable in
friends.
urban culture.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
no, I can relate to
So
that.
like,
Yeah, yeah, but
so maybe that's that. I can understand that, but just like, come be my friend because you're black, like,
I don't think
I
they
don't
do
know
it to
about
the
that.
point where it's like, okay, he's black, I'm going to make him my friend, but they have this real necessity to make sure that they have friends that are black. As a matter of fact, indirectly, they are doing that. They
Maybe they
got to
just
make
want a
sure they have
diverse
black
friend
friends, and
group.
they can point out I have black friends.
Maybe they just want a diverse friend group. You know what I mean? Like,
But then again, you're
But that's
basing it
not
on color.
diverse if they're just hanging out with black people.
Yeah.
well, no, but I'm saying like if they're hanging out with black people, but if they're probably hanging out with other people too.
You
not just
really
black
never
people
met white
themselves.
people that hang out with black people and always point out that they have black friends.
No,
Really? Have
no.
you?
No.
Really?
Maybe they'll point it out if they're talking about a race related issue.
Yes, yes.
Okay, how about the gay
Because
thing?
that legitimizes their point.
Right. Oh, my best friend is black.
Yeah.
Oh, my best friend is black. I know what I'm. Yeah,
What did
exactly.
you just said something. What was that?
The same thing with the gay thing. Every
Okay, so yeah,
time-
the gay thing. He said he said that he had heard that within the last 5 weeks, whatever. What you just said, like
every time
somebody
there's
saying
a
my
gay
best friend
issue,
is
it's
gay.
like, oh, all my friends are gay.
Well, sure, maybe when there's an
I think
issue, but I
sometimes
haven't.
people
heard
when
that.
they want to relate to me, like I have a gay friend, like we're gonna magically get along, but
Yeah, but that's assuming that they know that you are
Magically.
right. That they have to know that you, and they would know that you
that's
are.
what I'm
assuming
saying.
You are.
They're,
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They know that, so they're relating to it.
Yeah,
That's how
like-
they are bridging that. But
Yeah.
you're just saying that these people just
Yeah,
they're
no,
not
yeah.
using
You
it
can
to
tell by their social
leverage
media posts.
an
that-
idea. They're
yeah,
just
yeah. It's I have a friend who dates predominantly black girls. That's just his fetish. That's awesome.
yeah.
That's great. I'm cool with that.
Mhm.
But I have several friends that, and I noticed they're so full of shit too, that every time something comes up with like, let's say, a gay issue, not a bad, maybe good, something just, let's say it's a gay movie, whatever, right? We're talking something gay. They all of a sudden magically, all their best friends are gay. They're always been gay supporters. They're all my best friend. Everybody all of a sudden has a best friend that's gay.
Mhm.
And the same with the race thing. I noticed too. When this is a race, it's like, oh no, my best friend is black. Oh no, he's black and gay.
Right.
Twofer.
That's funny. That's funny. You know what? Ask more straight people. I think you're going to see what I'm on about. Yep. I'm serious.
Ask them what exactly though.
Ask more straight.
Do you feel like this is more happening to other white people? Like they're saying this to other. That's why we don't know.
I think that could be the case. I think I'm learning something. I think that white people always have to prove themselves with white people that they have both black and gay friends. And I notice when an issue comes up or a topic, that's the first thing out of the white man's mouth. Oh, I can really, my best friend is black. Every time you talk about something, their best friend all of a sudden is black and gay.
Just like-
Yeah.
Interesting.
See, we're, for example, best friends, but I don't like the fact that he's black and gay.
Mm.
I just like his personality.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. I don't like that he's black and gay.
Bonus. It gives you street cred.
I'm here for credibility. Yeah. 17 years?
It's been a long time.
I've known this guy for 17 years.
Long time.
I just found out he's gay. I'm quitting after tonight's show.
How did you not know the first night?
Wait,
Exactly.
you're gay too?
No.
Oh, I'm out of here.
Stupid.
Why don't you read off topic number 2, Theo?
Gun control versus gun prohibition.
Dwayne, why don't you go first on that?
Well, I guess the reason why I brought that up is I think that anytime anyone mentions the word gun control, they equate it with gun prohibition,
Mm-hmm.
which I think gun control is a serious issue in this country. They're probably, no, I believe there needs to be gun control, but if you even mention that word, they think you want to take their guns.
Mm-hmm.
And really, it's more about regulation or like, I think it's crazy that you can just go to one of those like gun conferences or weaponry conferences, what have you, and get an automatic weapon. Why do you need that? I don't think a civilian should
Semi-automatic,
have, or
yeah.
semi-automatic. I
Yeah.
don't think you should have that.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to compromise in letting civilians have that, then they should have to take the training that the military has to do to use those weapons. That it's not something that someone should just be able to do. And then to have guns, why do we just let people get an item that's sole purpose is to maim or kill without making sure that they know how to aim it,
Yeah.
load it, clean it, understand the gun laws that surround it and their responsibilities around it, but you can just walk into a Walmart and get a gun?
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. But you can't have that conversation because the minute you say gun control, they want.
That's what we talked about last time. See, like you just said, every time I say something like we talked about, guys and women's sport, you immediately, like you just said, you're labeled anti, 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 and
Right.
and it defeats the whole. You're absolutely right. You can't even bring it up without, But I'll go last, Theo, please. Yeah, wonderful
Well,
point. Yeah.
I just wanted to say that me personally, I am not a fan of guns in any way. Like I know, like Peyton, his family, they grew up with guns, shooting guns, and I think we talked about it. And you had guns. I don't know if you have guns or whatever, but
Well, in the South, there's a lot of people with guns.
yeah, and it's just something that I don't want any part of. And I just have a statistic here that I wanted to share because we all know recently there was a shooting at a Christian school in Wisconsin. It was a 15-year-old female. They still don't know where she got this gun from.
Yeah, that's what I want to
researching
know.
that. But it just says the shooting at Abundant Life Christian School in Madison, Wisconsin on Monday was the 83rd school shooting recorded in 2024, surpassing 2023 for the most school shootings in a single year since CNN began tracking this in 2008. On top of that, since 2000, at least 277 people have been killed in gun accidents. And so I talked about my brother a couple episodes or so ago, and the situation that he found himself in was because of this gun accidentally going off, like him having this gun. And
Oh yeah, brother. Yeah.
and it's just I just think about that, and I think about how that how that story changed his life. Had he not had access to a firearm, however the hell he got it or where he got it from, I don't know. I still don't know. But like, had he not had access or the ability to get a hold of that gun, like his life could be completely different. And so I know that there are countries that have super strict gun laws or they even prohibit guns, and those countries include Japan, the United Kingdom, Australia, Singapore, and South Korea. So like, obviously this
Shit, even Serbia.
in Serbia. Well, see, so for me personally, like call me crazy. I like the idea of the only people having guns are the people that actually need them, like police officers, military. If you're a hunter, like sure, maybe I don't know.
How realistic is that?
It's not realistic in this country at all.
Because you're talking about Australia. They had a mass shooting.
Sweden had a mass shooting.
No,
which is...
Australia had a mass shooting. They recalled their guns. They paid their citizens for their guns and confiscated them.
Oh.
Would you be able to do that in this country?
No, you wouldn't be able to do that in that country
At all.
at all.
Can't do that.
Gun control would be the only realistic thing here, not us turning the.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, that's how I feel about it. I know that that's not going to happen because people are like, they're going to take our guns, don't take our guns. Like, that's the situation. I know that's not, I mean, in a perfect world for me, that's the kind of world that I would like to live in. That's the kind of country that I would like to live in, so that I'm not concerned about, the 488 mass shootings that we've already had in 2024. 488 mass shootings.
It's a tough call because it's all politicized, right? It's all politicized, and I'd love to see, as a gun owner and as a gun supporter, yet I still would like to see more, it being a little bit harder to buy a gun. You can literally just walk into the store and buy a gun. And in California, of course, we have the 10-day wait. But it really is as easy as people, of my friends in Europe, think. You just walk in and buy a weapon and, pick it up.
Yeah, it's too easy.
And it's crazy.
Why would you want people to have had some sort of a background check? Like,
Well, they do. The background check is a joke because you do get fingerprinted,
but
then you have a Department of Justice check.
Thorough.
More thorough, correct.
If you're
Correct.
schizophrenic and you're hearing voices, maybe
Yeah.
you don't need a gun.
Yeah.
Is a gun telling you to shoot people?
And the problem
if
is,
you don't give that person a gun.
Yeah.
let me tell you something. The gun salesmen are worse than car salesmen.
In what way?
They want to sell you. They want to.
Oh, yeah.
When you go on a car lot, you know how they're going to do anything and everything to sell you a car. Well,
Mhm.
gun salesmen are even worse, right?
Yeah.
And again, and then of course the other side will argue, well, wait a second. The people that shoot and hurt people, they're obviously criminals. They have those guns illegally anyway. They shouldn't have them. And like this 15-year-old girl that shot up this school, she can't even own a gun.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm happy that now the parents get prosecuted, like in that shooting. Was that this year or last year, where the parents should be fully prosecuted, or whoever was in charge of that weapon, because a 15-year-old should not be able to access a weapon. That to me is a bigger issue than the parents having a gun. It's
And
like
I think that's part of gun control is properly storing your gun in a way that minors.
no, it's part of
Yeah.
the law.
Yeah.
You have to, otherwise you're liable. So when I buy a weapon, it says you got to store it properly. If anybody accesses it, accesses it, your ass is on the line. You know what I mean?
That's my point. Is like I think people buy guns and they don't even know gun laws, and there's nothing
Correct.
to check.
Correct.
They don't know to do that. You see these like militias in these podunk towns, like it's a "don't tread on me" type
Yeah,
situation.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if the U.S. military came after you,
What are you gonna do? Yeah, that's
what
a
are you
complete.
going to do? There's
It's
a
a
reason why no other
Yeah.
country outright attacks
Yeah.
us. We will crush them. What are you talking about?
And you know, we talked about it a few episodes. You know how I said, you know, for me it's extra fun and extra hard because I'm neither left or right. And in this issue, it's extra fun and extra hard for me too because you know, uh, I guess you can say I'm pro gun, but I'm not pro gun in the way that it is right now.
Right.
Does that make sense? You see what I'm saying?
I think a lot of people are. It's just once you say gun control,
Correct.
It's been weaponized and
They lose their
politicized, and
mind.
now we can't all agree. Like,
Correct.
maybe we should have some rules.
Correct. You know what I mean? But it really is true. Yeah, you walk in and buy what you want and leave with it, and the check is a joke.
Yeah.
The check is a joke. Dude, Hunter Biden got a weapon, and the guy was a felon, and he's not eligible. He got a weapon. It's so easy to get a gun, and I'm just using him because he's famous. There's 100 million, gazillion examples like that. It's not, and if you can't get it legally, there's no place on earth where it's easier to get a weapon illegally than in America.
Yeah.
Well, big issue. But my friends, guess what we have? We are so blessed to have our first phone-ins and text
Right.
messages and people wanting to ask us, and I'm honored by that. You know, my friend did a little screening for the show, and a lot of people liked what they saw, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But we actually have people that wanna. Tell us probably how much they hate us. So let's see what's going on.
God hate us.
You know, let's say, you know, I'm just going to start randomly, okay? And let's go to my voice message and text and see what we got here. And you know what? This is, who is this? Let's see. What do we have here? I'm just going to think I'm Bluetoothed here. And let's see. Here we go.
Hey guys, so first off, I love the show. Thanks for everything you guys are doing and kind of being so brave and putting this information out there. So I had a question for you. How did you come out as gay?
It's gonna go louder.
When did you know, or did you always know, or did you ever, you know, have doubts or curiosity? And then when you ultimately, how did you come out to your friends and your family and into the world at large? And really, how did you handle that transition and kind of announcing it both to yourselves and to everyone in your social group? Thanks a lot, and thank you.
Well, I'll go first. I'm just kidding. All right.
This was sexy.
Wow.
I think it just came out.
You know, it's funny that we're so many episodes into this, we never really actually talked about it. That's a
Yeah.
great question, and I'm not surprised that, see, we know, but maybe a fan or somebody who enjoys the show is always the first natural question. That makes total sense, and I'd love to hear the story. So, who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Well, first of all, I think the coming out process is you're an asshole.
Nice when we did it.
No.
Okay, fine.
So I think the coming out process is a personal journey that's unique to everyone, and I think that it's in stages. The first stage is coming out to yourself. So for me, like it was complex because I was a bit confused. Like my first crush was a girl, but then
Oh.
every other crush after that was a guy, and then that was in.
So you've been with women.
Mhm.
Oh.
Not till later, but my first crush was a girl. In high school, there was one girl. In college, and then every now and again, there's just something that pulls me in. But I don't even know what the common denominator is between them. But I am definitely more attracted to men. So for me, it was difficult deciding what that was, and I didn't have the proper terminology for it. I will say that when I was about 13, I must have said something, and I was a different kid. My father is like one of those like watch football, blah blah blah, like, man's man. I must have said something, and he just looked at me. He's like, Dwayne, you know, one day you might realize you're different, and when you do, know that that's okay.
Wow, you got lucky.
Yes, I got
You
really
lucked
lucky.
out. You
My
lucked out.
My
man. Wow.
father's from the Caribbean.
Wow.
And Caribbean men or Caribbean culture tends to be virulently homophobic.
Wow. I was going to say, yeah. Wow.
Jamaica's very dangerous.
Yeah.
But my father's even though he's a man's man, he's also one of those people where he just doesn't give a fuck.
Oh,
Like as
love
long as
that.
you're not bothering him,
Right, exactly.
he
Like
just
me,
doesn't
yeah.
give a shit.
Exactly, yeah.
That's just not something he's going to spend his time thinking about.
Yeah.
But for me, I really didn't fully come out until I moved out to LA, and then I still feel like I find myself always coming out. Like I feel like
It's
because my sexuality is fluid, or I think any gay man, whenever you go into a new environment, you start a new job, you do this, you're constantly coming out. So that's my story.
Love that. Wow.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, for me, like growing up, I had crushes on girls, like you said, and I never really thought about being gay.
Sorry, ladies, you clearly lost two great talents here. Whoever you slept with, they must have really messed up.
No, but it's not something I never ever really thought about. But I remember when I was in high school, I had there's a guy that I was really good friends with, and we hung out. We spent a lot of time together hanging out. We also had another friend, but we were part of like a friend group. But then like we would hang out, and I never felt like it was anything that was like sexual in nature. Like I don't feel like I was attracted to him. I thought he was an attractive guy, and he was also happened to be dating one of my friends. So there was a whole bunch.
That was a girl?
There was a girl, yeah. So there was a bunch of drama with them, and I was kind of like in the middle of it in some weird way. But I didn't really start having any type of like gay experiences until I went to college. I was a theater minor, and that's where a lot of the gay kids tend to like hang out or whatever. That wasn't the reason why I was drawn to theater, at least I don't think. It's because I wanted to be an actor, and so that's where I started connecting with people, and I was a bit more exposed to things. I went to my first gay bar in Chicago, and like was starting to have those types of experiences. When I left and graduated college, I moved back home to my parents' home in DFW. And I was like going out and partying, going to these bars and stuff. And my parents didn't know anything about that part of my life. And I think I had told maybe my sister above me at that point. I hadn't told them. But I ended up leaving and moving to LA. And I met this guy. Do you remember that website called Connections?
No.
Okay, so it was like maybe some of you out there know what Connections was. It was like kind of like a gay MySpace, Facebook type situation where you have like profile.
What time period? Is it like right
It was
around
like
my
2004.
MySpace
2000,
time,
Yeah.
like 2004. And so I met this guy there. We were just connecting, talking back and forth. He lived in Tampa, Florida. Well, I went out to visit him. He came out to visit me, and there was this whole back and forth. And then eventually, he ended up moving here, mama's boy, so he couldn't survive and was crying, wanted to go home to mom. And so he left. And at that time, my apartment building that I was living in was being sold, so they had to pay me to move out. So I got this big lump sum of money, and then I was making really good money because I was training at Equinox, and I was also working overnight room service at the Roosevelt.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a lot of money, and I was like, well, I don't want to have any regrets. So I shipped my car out and all my stuff, and I moved out there to be with him. And in between, there was that stop back in Texas where I had to tell my parents why I was leaving LA, that I had worked so hard to get here to pursue acting, why I was leaving LA to move to Tampa, Florida. So I sat them down, and I was like, I basically was like, this is the situation, and I'm going to move there to be with this person. And they were both I don't want to necessarily say that they were surprised, because I do remember when I was a kid, I would used to walk around the house. I got a gift. It was a microphone, and I was singing "What's Love Got to Do with It." Tina Turner, bitch. When I was a little kid walking around the house, that probably gave it away. I just didn't
gave
know
it
at
away.
the time. But I told them.
And your gay Jim Jam.
In my gay
playlist,
Jim Jam,
that's
yeah.
right. Yeah.
And so I told them, and they were like, you're our son. We love you. You're always going to be our son. We don't approve of this, but we're not gonna let you go over this. And so
Wow, you both
that's how they
lucked
found out.
man. Yeah,
my dad was in the service for
Wow.
2 years. My mom's like
Wow.
super Southern Baptist. That's not the response. That
I
was
know.
thinking I was
I
gonna
know
get.
horror stories, man.
Yeah.
That's for another talk. Wow. Okay. Well,
We
there
got
we
very
have it.
lucky.
That was Eric in Santa Barbara, by the way.
Hmm.
Thank you, Eric. Wow, we're honored to finally have some people care enough to send topics. Stacy from New Jersey says, Marco, when will you shave this gay ass beard?
What's
I have razors.
And
I'm
it
shaving
goes,
now.
by the way, I'm a lesbo. She goes, I love it. Rafa, do me a favor and overlay 2 pictures of me, one with the beard right now and one where I'm clean shaven, and we'll do a poll. Look, it's winter in LA right now. It's winter. It was 79 degrees today,
Yeah.
and it's cold. And once it gets warm, and actually, it really was 79 degrees.
It was nice.
It was really nice today. We're in t-shirts, as you can tell.
Yeah.
This is, I believe, Trisha in Illinois. It doesn't say the city, but Illinois. Let's see.
Hi, this is Trisha. I just wanted to say I'm a huge fan
Ooh, we have a
of
fan.
Marco. And does he have like an OnlyFans page or something?
Oh God,
Let me
no!
know.
Goodness gracious!
Hey, Trisha, drop me a message. I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to be fully honest. I haven't lied on this show yet. And why would I lie to you? We're not married. I actually have been thinking, believe it or not, in the past to do an OnlyFans account. Believe it or not, I actually have genuinely thought about it.
Would it be like?
I'm that desperate.
What would it be? Content with someone, or what would like your feet? Like what? Like what is this OnlyFans gonna be?
That's what he's good for.
I
Show your feet, man.
No.
I do have a foot fetish. Oh my goodness! Wow, Trisha. You know what? Yeah, I guess I would make it something, yeah, sensual related. Yeah, you can't do porn on there, nor would I do that. But I guess I would do it something that's probably explorative.
You can't do porn on there. Is that what you said?
You cannot do porn on there.
On
Right?
OnlyFans?
Oh, you can?
That's basically
Where have
Oh,
you been?
yeah.
Okay,
That's what OnlyFans is.
I thought you can do sex, but not like actual. But
No.
okay, hey, listen, I'm
that-
down. Yeah, I would do
That's why a
something.
lot of porn actors are just doing it themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it.
versus going
Okay,
into the
well, hey,
space.
listen.
A question for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
So generally, women don't really pay for sex. Some do. Some. There are some female subscribers. So most of
I'll have one.
Samantha.
Samantha. Yeah, literally.
most of your subscribers will be male. Would you have an issue with that?
No, I don't think so. I've always we talked about it earlier. I'm very fortunate I've always been very open-minded. Not like in being with a man open-minded, but growing up sexually open-minded.
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously I worked in many gay bars when I started in LA, and maybe it's because in Europe we grow up, as we talked earlier, so much more sexually open. We see naked people on regular TV, on the beaches, et cetera, et cetera. And one thing I always noticed in the gay community, when I worked in gay bars, compliments from guys always felt so genuine. I was always so honored when they said, "Wow, you're good looking," and not in a way like, "Oh, I'm hot." Like, trust me, we all have it. When we look in the mirror, we're insecure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Love
But-
body dysmorphia.
Right, exactly. But
Form of it.
when women get hit on, the guys look at them as a piece of flesh. When a guy gives you a compliment, he sees maybe the beauty on the outside, but there's something that he explores beyond that, right? And so, listen, if like I said earlier, the road ahead is now shorter than the road behind. I just don't care anymore. If it's something I want to do, I'm going to do it.
I don't know if
And
that's
if I don't
something
like
he
it, I'll
sees
quit the
beyond
next day. You know what I mean?
I don't know if that's something that he sees beyond that. I think he's just trying to get laid too.
With guys, yeah.
Yes, of course. He's not looking into your soul, bitch. You know what I mean? He's looking at your ass.
It's like he was looking at you as a piece of flesh.
Okay.
Trisha, since you'll be the only paying customer, what should I charge? 19.
I was like, who's gonna tell him?
Me.
But true story. No, I would probably do something. I would like to explore that phase. And like I said, I'm at a point in my life where I just don't care anymore. I don't care what people think. Really don't. And I think a lot of people would. They're just too scared to do it. Let's see.
It's a lot of work too, though.
It is.
If you're gonna do it and do it right, it's a lot of work.
Oh, fuck that. We want to do a selfie and here's
It's more than
No,
that.
it's like a full-time job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Let's see what we have here.
Hey guys, what's up? I had a question.
This is Stevie in Boston, outside of Boston. All right, here we go.
What's your workout routine?
Let's start this. I think this is.
I had a question for Theo.
Oh, it is for Theo.
What's your workout routine? And
Ooh.
I know it's kind of taboo to ask, but Do you take any supplements? What about any testosterone or HGH or any other sort of things like that? And how do you incorporate that into your workout plan and into your nutrition plan? Anyway, thanks.
Wow, asking the fat person on the table.
So, thanks for the question. I've been working out since I was probably like 14, 15 years old. So that's a very long time for me. I just started working out with my brother. He was like throwing weights around. I wanted to like get muscles. And so that's what I started doing. And then took it one further and became a personal trainer and like I learned everything that I needed to know about nutrition and, how to properly work out. And it's just been something that I've always, been drawn to. And it's something that I'm not one of those people that's like, I hate going to the gym, although we all have those days. It's something for me where it's like, it's very therapeutic for me. I have some good music. I go in, I do it. So for my workouts, I work out 6 days a week and I do like splits. Um, as far as my nutrition goes, I follow a macros plan. So I'm tracking everything that I eat in the form of, carbohydrates, fat, and protein. And I make sure I hit my numbers every day. So if I'm setting a goal to gain, I'm making sure that I'm eating enough so that I can get the gains. And if I'm trying to cut, I'm making sure I'm creating enough deficits so that I can like get ripped.
You know, he's looked like this since I've known him for 17 years. I've known this motherfucker, and he's literally looked like that. Not one time has he been out of shape. I don't know
No, his body's always on point.
Right.
I give him that.
COVID was tough because I was sitting around on my ass, like waiting for the gyms to open, and then I was like, I better get my ass up and start.
I've
doing some
never
walking. I was waiting.
This guy doesn't have that was fat story. No, the guy literally like I think
No,
he's born like
I was.
this. Yeah.
But I was a chubby kid, but that's
Really?
I think what motivated me, like in fifth grade or whatever. But as far as the answer to your question about supplements, I was natural for 41 years of my life. I'm over 40. I'm not gonna tell you how much over 40, but I'm over 40, bitch. But I am. I just had a birthday too, so I am over 40, and people always assumed that I took steroids because of the way I looked, and so I was always getting accused of it. And so when I was 41, I was like, I'm gonna do this and try it out, see what I would look like if I did take steroids, since I look this way. So I did. I did do a run of tests, and I didn't really
Round
feel
of
like,
testosterone, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Test testosterone.
and I didn't feel like because I was very like unaware of like what each one of these things does, so I had to ask people for questions and stuff about it. But I did it, and I didn't really feel like I noticed that big of a difference because I'm just so consistent already anyway. So I was like, I kind of feel like I would look like this anyway. And so the next time I did another round, I added something to it. And when I looked in the mirror, I was like, "Oh, you look like you're taking steroids right now." Because I was like, "Oh wow, that's amazing." So I did that, and I think I've done one more since then. Right now, I'm not doing anything. I have no money. I can't afford to do anything. But it's to me, don't rely on that type of stuff because there's people that will get on these cycles and they won't follow proper nutrition, and so they're wasting the work or the effort they're putting into it. And some of them, they are taking things and they're not taking their asses to the gym and doing the work. So
Ah.
just rely on just being consistent in what you're normally doing, and you'll get there. And that is just meant to be like an extra added enhancement that maybe you don't even necessarily need, especially if you're not making the effort to do enough of the work just naturally.
Don't put your body through that stress.
Yes, 100%. 100%, but I did look good.
I'm just
saying.
I'm surprised he asked Theo about his opinion when I'm sitting here with the perfect body and he wants Theo's workout routine. But all right, never mind. Maybe he's into black guys.
Danger.
Maybe he wants to have black friends. Is he cute? I'm available. I'll be your friend.
Oh my god. Bella in Los Angeles wants to know, Marco, have you ever kissed a man? Yes, I have. Moving on.
What? Well, wait. Was this like in a romantic way, or was this like you were in a movie, or and you had to kiss somebody?
Moving on. You asked this.
I know, right?
Now, yes, I kissed a man. Moving on.
Moving on.
I'm European. I kissed a man. Not much to it, It was I was early teenage, and I don't know. I don't know how this all came to be. I even remember his name, believe it or not. I'm not going to say it on here, but It was like we're playing doctor. No, it was just an innocent kiss, and we were
Just a kid.
Okay, not if you're
There
playing
was no
doctor.
tongue. There was it was the one and only time I ever kissed a man, and this was I tell you, there's not even a backstory to it. It's true, and it's completely no backstory.
Mhm.
We're hanging and we're playing, and I remember we're
You're playing
smoking.
husband and wife. Were you the wife?
You know what's funny? Everybody smoked. We were back in Serbia. Everybody
Oh, yeah.
smokes. You know how everybody smokes.
Everybody smokes in Europe.
We smoked. They don't even care that we smoked at 12, 13. And somehow we're listening to Guns N' Roses and hanging out and we're I think we're looking at we had a porn VHS tape. And so yeah, there's not even a story to it. It's completely
Not the
no.
That's a
VHS tape.
backstory.
Okay.
There's but that's all that
That's a whole
happened.
setting.
Yeah, yeah. Follow-up question: would you be open to? No, I'm just kidding.
OnlyFans.
Cobalt. I hope I'm saying this right. Kobe. I'm just going to call you Kobe. Also in Los Angeles. Dwayne, would you still have sex with a woman?
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have this year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do tell. Wait, you know about that?
Of course.
Oh, excuse me.
It's not something like, again, it's sort of like an ephemeral thing. Well, in this particular situation,
He has the best life of all of us, doesn't he? This motherfucker
I'm
can,
curious
can dance
and I'm
on all
adventurous, but
parties.
curiosity kills the cat.
Yeah.
Mm. Yes. it
Wow,
does.
so you had sex with a woman this year. Ladies, not all hope is lost. And he's rich.
No, I know. That's a damn lie. It was actually a threesome with a man and a woman.
Oh,
Yeah.
a threesome with a
Yeah.
man and a woman. Wow.
Would you do that?
Have sex with a woman? I have sex with a woman. I'm in a
threesome,
relationship.
have the threesome with a man and a woman.
But you have to specify. There's MMF and MFM. You understand the difference?
You and another dude and a chick.
Both are with a chick, but
Yes.
one is with the two dudes
Yeah,
that
if-
interact with each other. The other
Oh
ones they
well,
won't.
he's not gonna fucking interact with.
No,
Would you even be in the room?
I'm so open, and if this even back in college, if I was open, I'm very open minded, but I can't touch a man or do it with a man. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so
Mhm.
But I have no
MFM.
problem if there's a guy there.
Yeah.
Because listen, we're in Europe. At age 7, we shower naked with other guys in soccer practice already.
Yeah.
Again, we're sexually so ahead of this. When I came to this country, I didn't even know you cannot buy booze till you're 21 when we already drink at age 12. You couldn't
Yeah.
even see a breast on a network TV. I was
Mhm.
shocked how, because I'm coming to America, I think it's this way more advanced. And it is in certain things, but in sexuality and
Puritanical in
stuff,
some
yeah, it was mind blowing. Wow.
Yeah.
So he's living the life here, huh? Wow.
Mm-mm.
We
I've been celibate since April.
follow-up question: who's bottom, who's top? I'm just kidding. That's me making shit up. Is that something you want to share?
But he really wants to know.
I do want to know.
Why?
Curiosity killed the cat. Does it ever change, top, bottom?
I think it depends on the situation and who you're with. It's like an energy type thing.
Oh, I thought it stuck. I thought
Some people are primarily, or they don't deviate.
Oh,
from
so
that
there are people that are like,
Yeah,
I'm
but
a
I
top,
think
I'm a bottom.
Most gay men are some variation of verse.
I love how much I'm learning here. This is amazing. I'm telling you, I bet you a lot of listeners are learning too. How about you?
I'm a top.
Oh, excuse me. I should even ask if it ever changes.
Not really.
That's not a no.
Oh, it's not an oh.
Okay.
Fist bump.
It's
Fist bump.
not- No, it's not a no, but it's probably a no. It's probably more like 90%, 10% maybe, but not
Okay, so
10%.
as a straight man, the first question that comes to mind now is, do you just sense that in another gay man when you hook up with somebody, or is that actually discussed? Is that actually discussed?
Oh, well, I don't know.
Is it a sixth sense you guys have, or
I think sometimes it just happens organically, naturally, but that sometimes there is that awkward situation where
oh my god, I have like 90
Some make a
questions.
box.
I have like 90
a
questions.
lot of the times, if you're like talking to somebody and you're chatting them up and you think it's going to go somewhere, somebody will blurt out, "So are you top or bottom?"
yeah,
You know, and that'll just
Blurt about
happen.
it.
Well, that begs the question: if you were super hot for this guy and he's super hot for you, I mean, you're totally cruising each other, feeling each other, and What if both people are like I really would like to be on the top. I don't want to compromise.
Uh,
Does that
If
happen?
you don't want to do something, you don't want to do.
yeah, you're not gonna do it if you don't want to do it. If you're in the mood to do it and you want to do it, then
So have you
do it.
walked opportunities because?
Yeah,
Oh wow! Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay. See, straight guys don't have that. Straight guys, when they're lucky enough to get laid, are you fucking kidding me? Straight guys get drunk. They'll bang anything.
game in two. It's not just straight men. It's game in two. Yeah. But even still, within that situation, like there still has to be that sexual compatibility.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That is.
You know what I mean? Because you know what you're gonna try and rape somebody? And no,
Don't
Like-
want to do that. Yeah.
come on.
That's terrible.
Well,
Yeah.
I have 6 more questions. My phone is actually charging. We're out of time anyway, but since I'm hosting, I'm going to close it out on the behalf of all of us. Guys, want to say thank you so much. The fact that we're getting now to a point where people are actually calling in and sending messages and texting means the world to us. When we started the show, we said we want to do something that's real and that's truly us, and more importantly, where we can be ourselves. All right, and it was so nice when Rafa, watched a few episodes and played it for his friends, and that's why we have these people calling in and texting in, and he said there's so much stuff out there that's safe and vanilla, and people are afraid to talk about things. And what they loved about what we're doing is, especially what he loved with his friends watching it, is the fact that we're willing to discuss topics and be really honest about them, and
Too honest.
yeah, exactly. and disagree and learn from each other. I'll learn more from these last few episodes than when you always hang out with people, especially our friends in politics. When you hang out with nothing but people that agree with you, dude, you're part of the problem. This is where you want to be, where you can have this. And to me, this is so refreshing. I don't remember the last time I was in a setting that is so refreshing where you can just be yourself, And we swore ourselves. The day we can't do that anymore, the day we can't be honest about topics, that's the day we quit. So we're so honored that you're responding to that you're buying into that you're with us, that you're letting us into your home. And we promise you, for as long as you'll have us, we'll be real. That's the greatest compliment we can give you. And thank you so much. And we have many more questions and people that sent in stuff, and we'll go over that next episode or maybe after. You never know. Maybe I'll be shaved. And Trisha, I'll be charging $19 a month for OnlyFans, so you'll be my OnlyFans.
She'd be overpaying.
$2.99.
Wow.
$299, bitch.
Yes.
Yeah, $299. We love you. Remember to subscribe to our social media, and we'll see you next week. See you soon.
Bye.
Guys.